Hello, team. Jackie Miller here. I am your internal communications manager for the zone, and I'm just trying to make the newsletter a little bit more user friendly, trying to get information out to you in a very effective manner. So, on these slides that are text heavy, I'm going to try to remember to narrate them for you. So that way, as you're driving to work or working in your classroom, you can just push play on the video and then you can listen to it instead of sitting down to read it all. Okay, so this is an important reminder from Human Resources. I'm just going to go ahead and read the entire thing. As we begin the 2021-2022 school year, we wanted to update employees on our district protocols regarding isolation and quarantine as we navigate the COVID 19 pandemic. As you read these guidelines, remember that quarantining is required if you are not vaccinated and are considered a close contact with a person who is COVID positive. Isolating is required regardless of vaccination status if you are symptomatic and waiting on test results or you have tested positive for COVID. If you are required to quarantine or isolate, you should notify the Benefits Department at 574 393 6072 if your last name starts with letters A through L, or 574 393 6070 if your last name starts with letters M through Z. You will be required to provide medical documentation. Per CDC and IDOH guidance, vaccinated individuals are no longer required to quarantine if they are considered a close contact with a person who is COVID positive. However, unvaccinated individuals who are close contacts are still required to quarantine. There is no longer COVID specific paid leave. During the 2020 calendar year, federal law created paid leave for people needing to quarantine or isolate due to COVID. That leave expired on December 31st, 2020. South Bend Community School Corporation created its own leave policy that extended the availability of paid leave for people needing to quarantine or isolate. The district extended leave ended on June 30th, 2021, and has not been renewed. Therefore, employees no longer have paid COVID leave if they need to quarantine or isolate due to COVID. However, employees may use their sick days if required to quarantine or isolate due to COVID. Employees without available sick days who must quarantine or isolate will be granted unpaid leave during their quarantine or isolation. If you are quarantining, you may be required to get a PCR or antigen test. Employees who must isolate it will be asked to complete FMLA paperwork and provide appropriate documentation. Sick bank leave, for those employees who have access to it, may not be used for quarantine. Sick bank leave is for absences due to illness, injury, or incapacitation sufficiently severe to make the performance of duties impossible. Sick bank leave may be available with proper documentation for employees required to isolate, but will only be considered after all your own leave time has been exhausted. If you have any questions, please contact us at 574 393 6075.